There's someone you keep thinking about. Maybe it's someone from work, or a person you pass every morning, or someone you barely know but can't stop replaying in your head. You haven't chosen to think about them. You just do. And here's the thing most people never ask. Why them? Out of every person you've ever met, why did your brain lock on to that one specific face? The answer isn't romantic. It's not fate. It's not chemistry in the poetic sense. It's an algorithm, a hidden, unconscious set of rules your brain runs every single time you encounter someone new. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. In the next 9 minutes, we're going to break down exactly how your brain selects a crush. We'll look at the real science, not the oversimplified version you've probably heard before. We'll cover the 3 unconscious filters your brain runs before you even feel anything. We'll get into the chemicals that hijack your thinking, and we'll end somewhere that might genuinely surprise you, with what your crush actually reveals about you. Stay until the end. The last part changes how you understand yourself. The first filter, the body scan. Let's start at the very beginning, the first moment you see someone. Research shows your brain processes a new face in under 150 milliseconds. That's faster than a single heartbeat. But here's what almost nobody talks about. Your brain isn't just registering whether someone is attractive. It's running a rapid biological scan. It's looking for signals of health, signals of genetic compatibility, signals of survival value, facial symmetry, skin clarity, posture, even the way someone moves. These aren't shallow observations. From an evolutionary standpoint, they're data points. Your brain is asking one ancient question. Is this person a viable partner? Now here's where it gets genuinely strange. In 1995, researchers ran a study where women were given sweat-soaked t-shirts worn by anonymous men and asked to rate their attractiveness based purely on smell. The women consistently rated the men with different immune system genes as more attractive, not similar immune systems, different ones. Your nose, without your knowledge, is scanning for genetic diversity because children born to parents with different immune genes tend to develop stronger immune systems. Your brain isn't picking someone who smells good, it's picking someone who would make your children more resilient. You don't experience this as a calculation, you experience it as a feeling. The second filter, familiarity. Imagine a large college class. 4 women are asked to act as students for the entire semester. They're all similar in appearance. None of them speak to anyone, none of them interact. The only difference, how often they show up. The first woman attends 0 classes. The second attends 5. The third attends 10. The fourth attends 15. At the end of the semester, students are shown photos of all 4 women and asked to rate them on attractiveness, intelligence, and likability. The woman who attended 15 times was rated significantly higher on all 3 measures. She never said a word to anyone. She just appeared. This is called the mere exposure effect, and it's one of the most powerful and least understood forces in human attraction. The more your brain sees something or someone, the more it tags them as safe, as familiar, as good. This is why over 65% of romantic relationships begin as friendships. Proximity isn't just convenient, it's chemically significant. But familiarity goes even deeper than proximity. Research consistently shows that people are drawn to partners who share traits, not just in personality or values, but in the emotional patterns they grew up with. Behaviors, communication styles, even the way someone expresses conflict. Your brain isn't just looking for someone safe, it's looking for someone who feels like home. Sometimes that's a beautiful thing, and sometimes it's worth examining more closely. The third filter, the chemical takeover. Once the first two filters pass, your brain shifts from scanning to reacting. Dopamine floods in. This is the same chemical your brain releases when you win something, eat your favorite food, or achieve a goal. It's the reward chemical. And now it's being triggered every time you think about this person. That's why you replay the same moments on a loop. That's why a single text from them feels like a small victory. Your brain has essentially made this person a source of reward. Then norepinephrine activates. Your heart rate climbs. Your palms sweat. You feel slightly on edge around them. This isn't nervousness in the ordinary sense. It's your nervous system entering a heightened state, alert, attentive, ready. And then something counterintuitive happens. Your serotonin levels drop. Serotonin is the chemical associated with calm and contentment. When it drops, your brain loses its sense of equilibrium. It becomes preoccupied. It loops. This is why having a crush can feel like an obsession, because neurologically it functions like one. Studies comparing brain scans of people in the early stages of romantic attraction and people experiencing OCD found overlapping patterns in the neural activity. Your brain on a crush is not behaving normally, it's behaving like it has a mission. So now you know the three filters: the biological scan, the familiarity loop, the chemical flood. But here's what none of that explains. Why do some people keep falling for the same type of person even when that pattern hurts them? Why does the person your brain chooses sometimes feel so right at first and so confusing later? The biology gives us the mechanism, but not the meaning. For that, we need to go one layer deeper. Here's what most relationship psychology content never tells you. A crush is not just a reaction to someone else, it's a projection of something in you. Therapists and psychologists have observed a consistent pattern. The traits we find most intensely attractive are often tied to something we want more of in ourselves, or something deeply familiar from early in our lives. Someone who grew up in a chaotic household might find themselves drawn to emotionally unavailable people, not because they enjoy the pain, but because the nervous system recognizes that emotional pattern as familiar, as home. Someone who has suppressed their own ambitions might find themselves powerfully attracted to people who seem fearless and driven. We don't just fall for people. We fall for what they represent to us. This is why two people can meet the same person and have completely different reactions, because they're not just seeing that person, they're filtering them through everything they've experienced, everything they've needed, and everything they're still looking for. Your crush is partly a mirror, and that's not a weakness. It's actually incredibly useful information, if you're willing to look at it honestly. So let's bring it all together. Your brain chooses your crush through a layered process. First, a biological scan, looking for health and genetic compatibility. Then, a familiarity filter, searching for safety and emotional recognition. Then, a chemical flood that makes the person feel essential. And beneath all of that, a deeper psychological layer where your own unmet needs and emotional patterns quietly shape who you're drawn to. None of this is random. None of it is magic. But here's the important part. Understanding the algorithm doesn't make attraction less real. It makes it more meaningful. Because when you understand why you're drawn to someone, you can start to ask whether that attraction is leading you somewhere good. If this changed how you think about attraction, there's a lot more where this came from. Subscribe to Silent Chemistry. We go deeper into the psychology behind connection, desire, and why people do what they do in relationships. Next time, we're looking at something even more unsettling. What happens to your brain after a crush fades, and why some people never quite get over certain people, no matter how much time passes. That one's worth waiting for.